A voluntary action is one whose principle is in us, with full knowledge of its circumstances, neither forced then nor out of ignorance. The ignorance likely to make an action involuntary concerns its circumstances. What is a circumstance? Etymologically, something which circumstat stands around the action is added to its essential elements. Now, which elements constitute an action? An agent, Robert, for example, an act, to give, a direct object, rice, an indirect object, the child to which it is fed, an instrument, a fork, a way, a manner, with patience, a place, a time, an intention to feed, eventually, possibly collateral result, indigestion, intoxication. Each of these essential elements is tinged with an infinity of particularities. The facts of its story, his story for the agent, its way of cooking for the rice, its efficiency for the instrument, his character for the child, and so on and so on. These are the circumstances. Most of them don't change anything to the nature of the action, but sometimes they do it, even enough to make the action better or worse. Their infinity makes impossible to know all of them. Even at times those which spoils or better the action. Ignoring some of those last is the kind of ignorance which make an action involuntary. Now, we must distinguish between natural and moral elements. We just enumerated the natural ones. Who, Peter, does what, pitches, what, the ball, to whom, to John, with what, with his hand, his foot, how, violently, why, to tease, with which collateral result, making furious, maybe wounding. Many other accidents are tied to these elements. Agent and object's age and story, concomitant activities, various developments. The moral elements are between them all those on which it depends that the action helps or compromise the agent's happiness. This aspect determines the action's conformity or lack of conformity to right reason. Natural elements and circumstances of an action have a moral incidence only in as much as they influence, they affect this conformity. It is impossible without fault to ignore the most important ones: the immediate intentions, the identity of the agent, the nature of the act, of the object. But one could not have measured precisely some collateral effects, allergy, wound, the precise manner, speed, strength, some special character of the object, of the place, maybe it's a sacred place, of the time, maybe it coincides with the feast, there is an agent conflict. The ignorance of circumstances, usually trivial, but this time factor of a particular nature, is the one which makes involuntary the action's goodness or malice.